That's all good. I love you, Grandma.
Okay, are we ready to roll?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, welcome. If you're new tonight, everybody starts out muted, so that's normal until we open it up to sharing time, questions, all of that good stuff. Just a quick tip for you if you're new to Zoom. The best way to view is to put your speaker view on versus gallery view. It's going to help you just see the speaker as they're talking versus seeing all the little screens. So you can do that by switching to gallery or to speaker view. And I'm coming in from a new location. I'm down in Florida. Tonight I'm down here for the week with my parents down here and my brother, and they're all kind of nearby. So they're kind of joining us for Solution Group. So that's exciting for me. And then as you can see, we've got a whole new studio there at Rebuild Recovery. They're there at the Kent House, but as you can see, they've really made some changes. Can we see there we go, the basement crew there. Let me put you on spotlight so they can see. Oh, it's not giving me the option right now. Oh, darn. You'll see it in a few minutes. They've got the whole downstairs decked out. Travis has done lots of work in producing this and adding some really cool features. So we're going to have a good time tonight. So are we ready, Arts? Oh, there's the producer. There he is, Travis Bailey. Give us a wave again, Travis. Are you frozen? Or is it just me? Might just be me. But hey, guys. There he is. There he is. Hey. Nice work, Travis.
Maybe we should be hosting the show.
Maybe what?
Maybe we should be hosting the show. No? That doesn't work that way?
We can.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? You guys, it looks like I can't put you on speaker view. I don't know why. Oh, here we go. I got it. Okay, there you go. Are we ready to roll, Art? Take it over.
Crew, can you put the basement crew on speaker view?
If he changes the camera, yes. There we go. There we go. Hey guys, everybody give him a big wave. Hey guys, there's the crew. Oh, it looks so great there. I love it. The Coke machine, that's so cool.
We ready?
We're ready.
You gotta put, all right. Can you put the big one on, Travis? All right.
All right, Arts.
Angie's a little bit understating what she's going through for everyone. I don't know why she's doing that, but Angie's not in Florida just to visit. Her mother's having a really hard time and has been diagnosed with cancer, and Angie's down there taking care of her mother. So maybe we can all kind of give her some love or prayers or whatever that would be necessary for Angie. So it's not just that she's down there to visit. How's the sound, Ange?
It seems a little quiet.
Can we turn up the mic?
Let me check with everybody else. Is it the same? Is it quiet for everybody else, or is it just me? Yes, it's quiet for everybody else.
No, the camera's on it. You just need to speak up, Art.
Okay. Is it better?
Yes, much.
Okay. How's that?
That's perfect.
So it's weird that we're going to talk tonight about something, and it happened really quickly. You guys, it's easier for me if we just do group here. Kyle, yeah, it's easier for me to just do group. Liz, there. They want to look at the screen in the back of the room rather than me. It makes it a little difficult. So, you know, I think one of the problems that we're all here, and it's called Solution Group, and you know, there's this. I've always said in my life that it was always so difficult to get. I feel like there's three aspects of life, kind of three general categories. You got your mental health and your spirituality, and you got your physical health, and you got your money and your stuff and your job or whatever that is. And in my life, I've never been able to get all three managed at the same time. If I focused on my spirituality, it made it tougher to focus on making money or my health. And if I focused on my health, then I wanted to, which was very rare, but when I did, I wanted to, take the day off and just maybe go on walks or whatever I would do. And, if I went to the gym in a day, then that would just be the end of my day. Couldn't do anything else afterwards or ever get all three aspects of life kind of going. And recently I've had that kind of this thing going on that I've got all three aspects of life going. And it's very clear to measure. Travis, you got it.
I can't see that, Art.
Huh?
I can't see any of the stuff I do.
I got it, but I can't see when I'm talking. It makes it tough.
Are you talking about that thing that says set up professional audio and audio settings?
There you go. That's better. Thank you.
I see it too. There, I X'd it out.
Okay.
Okay.
So these other two parts of life, the money part and the physical health part, it seems really clear. The metric system just seems clear to measure these two areas of life. You can look at and if we wanted to sit here, when this house got together and decided that they would help me with my physical health, everybody was really clear on how to measure it, what to do about it, and what the plan was. It took a little bit, but then everybody became pretty clear. They said no carbs. Just so you guys know, that includes no milk. I found that out. We get no milk and no beans. I can't have chili, I've heard. Very odd that I can't have apples or bananas, which is strange. And basically what we eat here now is chicken, broccoli or asparagus, and salad. And that's the extent. And then we have two things we can drink. We can drink water or warm water. That's what we have to drink. So we have two different drinks. We have cold water and warm water. And that's what we do for drinking. And it's not too fun. But it's very clear that I've actually lost some weight, and I can get on a scale, and a scale will measure how I'm doing. And when I'm talking about finances, I can look at my bank and it is very clear how I'm doing. And the problem is that when we talk about spirituality or mental health, it is very unclear of even what to do and what it means and if you're doing good. And the real problem is that what we're doing here is mainly spiritual and mental health. And it's improvement of our mental health. And what I've found really deeply disturbing over the time that I'm doing this is that people don't even know how to talk about mental health as it improves. People don't even know what they would say if it did improve. People don't know how to describe if they've been improving. People don't know how to say, this is where I was and this is where I am now. So there's literally there is no way to measure it. There is no, people can lie and say they're doing better than they thought they were. And they can say, well, I'm doing better this time because, and they can make it up, but we haven't developed anything. And then even weirder when you're talking about recovery, and whether your recovery is doing well or not, they actually then begin to discuss the money part or the physical part. So if you ask a recovering addict, really, if their recovery is doing good, they'll talk to you about these other two aspects of life. They'll talk to you about how their money's doing, or they'll talk to you about how their physical health is doing. Well, I'm doing great in recovery. I go to the gym every day and I got a car. Okay, it makes no sense because you're not even in the right realm of what it is. And so basically, I think we have to define what it is that we're even recovering from and what the deal is and how we would measure it. And I think that in this aspect of the way I'm going to measure it for people, I think we could all agree that we all need it. And this isn't just for drug addicts. So the first thing that we would say is that I would say is that people don't like or dislike us, people, we don't have a hard time in life due to anything else other than the way we respond to life. So we have what's called poor response patterns to life. So life happens and then we do drugs, or life happens and then we yell, or life happens and then we isolate, or life happens and then we give silent treatment, or life happens and then we defend, or life happens and we argue, or life happens and we justify. And there's all these poor response patterns. I think the most, and so when we say to anyone that we don't like somebody, we're never really talking about the person that we don't like. We are actually, what we're saying every time we've ever said, I don't like somebody, is we're saying, I don't like the way they respond to life. I don't like the way they look when somebody says something. I don't like how, I just generally just don't like this way this person responds to life. They have poor response patterns. Like they'll say, I don't like this person because they tell them they do a chore wrong and they get defensive. And then we don't like that. Or they say, I don't like that person because we tell them they might be wrong and they fight us, or they argue all the time. That's a response pattern to life. And so what we're really measuring in recovery, if we're going to get better mentally and spiritually better, then what we have to measure is, are we improving our response patterns to life? And how do we improve those? How do we handle life better than we used to? And it was very odd because we've been going through this all week and kind of talking about it. And where I've been working with these guys here in this room is that there's these markers. And so just like physical fitness and eating right and health and the way to measure it, if we were to look at recovery, what we can say is, we can say, well, there's three aspects of recovery, just like there's three aspects of a football or of a team. There's of being a sports team. So there's practice, and then what is the practice? And then there's game. What is the game? So what is the practice? What is the game? And then how do we examine if we won or lost the game? So we'll call the game response patterns to life. And we'll call practice this meditation or awareness. And so we develop this meditation and this awareness, and we practice it. And we practice like a living meditation of being aware of ourselves, because we have to watch ourselves, because we have to respond. We have to see how we're going to respond to life. So we have to be prepared for a game. Now, what's a game? And what we've been talking about this week is, I said, there's markers. And so what we have to do is we have to first develop this baseline. So you develop a baseline and you say, okay, I'm in my baseline. Like I'm living in acceptance right now. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I just did an hour. I made some dinner. Everything is fine. I went to work. I was fine. I didn't get any arguments. I didn't have anything go wrong. It was fine. And that's the baseline. And then what we're looking for and we're preparing for with our practice, because while we're operating in the baseline, we be aware. We have awareness, we breathe, we be present, and that's the initial practice. Well, the game comes, and what's weird is right before Solution Group, I had a marker tonight. I had an event. I had something show up, and it was tough to deal with, and I didn't respond very well. And when you're in it, and so the first thing that we have to be honest with. The first thing that we have to be honest with is we have to be, am I in my baseline now or not? That's the first thing. Am I in acceptance? Am I in my baseline? Am I like moving along life? And what we were saying last night is the plane flying smoothly? So we're in our baseline is when the plane is at its cruising altitude, it's flying smoothly across the sky. There's the baseline. And now what you're doing is you're looking ahead for turbulence. Sometimes you see it coming, sometimes it comes on automatic. And then what the recovery process is what we do in those times of turbulence. How do we respond to life in those times when there's turbulence? It's really easy to be in treatment. You just do 30 days, you play some spades, you listen to some music, you do the hookah, you maybe get out and go on an outing, and there's really no test to your practice. And so sometimes it almost gets to the point where people feel it's unnecessary to have a practice because they don't understand, because they haven't hit any of the markers. There hasn't been an event. There hasn't been something to deal with. That's what the beautiful thing about being with you guys for 90 days is that I see the markers in your life and you see mine. And what we do by recovering, and so we need to measure this thing in this format. We need to be able to talk about it in this format. How did I improve my response patterns to life? How did something happen and I handled it better than I used to? Recovery. To handle it better than I used to. One, to not get high over it. And two, to actually then handle things that I used to not be able to handle. And the way that we begin to practice is exactly what we're talking about here. It's just what we learned with Tara Brach, or what we learned with Rain, and to what we're learning in emotional intelligence, and to look at these emotions and just look at them, to be able to be aware of them and just stare at them and say, take a look, there's anger, there's worry, there's panic, there's resentment, there's frustration, there's annoyance. And to feel it in the body, to feel it down here, and just look at it and name it. Allow for it. Just say, it's fine, I'm annoyed. It's fine, I'm angry. At that point, you can investigate why. Now, the most important part is this other part of it. See, because you might lose it. You might hit a marker, you might hit someplace, and you might respond deeply poorly to life. Now, there's only one thing that's important after that you're not blaming somebody else for. That's literally the only thing that's important. If you can just sit down after that, and you can go, why did I respond poorly to life? Why did I respond poorly to life? Why did I respond poorly to life? Not why did they say that to me? Not why are they doing this to me? Not how come they always screw me over? Not anything like that, but just sit down with it and eat it and say, why did I respond poorly to life? What is lacking in my practice? What do I got to do to respond better next time? And this is all we can do. This is all we can do to recover. This is all we can do to get better. Our brains, like I told you guys, your brain is hardwired when life doesn't go your way to get loaded. It is. And so I remember in early recovery, my initial thoughts when I had one event, and it was a bad event. And it was the first time I was about a year and a half clean. And I'd never thought of doing drugs. I'd never thought anything like that. I never had obsessions. It wasn't like that. And something pretty detrimental happened to my image. And when it happened, the first thing that happened is it thought, okay, go get high. Then it said, no, just go home and take some sleeping pills and go to bed. And I remember this event. It was a public thing that kind of happened, and it was embarrassing for me. And after it happened, I thought my career was over, and I thought everybody was going to tell me that I'm no good at what I do and all this stuff. And the first initial thought was go get high. The second thought was, no, just go home and take some sleeping pills. And then the third thought that came in, which is very fortunate for me, and I still like it, was call someone. And I did. I called somebody named Cindy Brown that I bought the treatment center for. And I go, look, they're saying all these bad things about me. And I said something really bad publicly, and they got me on tape saying it. And it's going to end me. And she goes, no, it isn't. Nobody gives a shit. And I go, oh, okay. And I went home and went to bed. And that was that. And so all we're really doing here, and really what you're going to even see with these markers are, all there is shots to your image. Look, it'll just be things that happen that make you not look good. Basically, that's all it is. And I have to admit, at 10 years sober, I'm still deeply concerned with how I look. I am. And it's still the things that cause me to respond poorly to life. I'm deeply concerned with how I look. And I'm deeply concerned with what people think about me. And I don't find any other things very concerning. And I like that. I am deeply concerned. I want people to think of me well. I want people to like who I am as a person. I want people to always think that I'm honest. I don't like it if people think I'm a liar. I want people to think I'm honest. I want people to think that when I say something, I'll do it. I want people to think that I'm truth. I want people to think good of me. And I respond poorly in life when I think people don't think good of me. And it sucks. And so I practice. And I practice both two things. I practice like being a little less concerned and you know, actually just trying to get over things or having more, you know, kind of self-talk in that way. But I practice presence, a little bit of self-talk. And then sometimes I yell and scream and say, I'm not who you say I am. And fuck you. And it's all there. But I can tell you one thing that keeps improving in my life is my response patterns to life. And so I can measure my recovery. I can measure it. And there's got to be a measurement. And human beings, what if we just said recovery is something everybody needs, and it's recovery from poor response patterns to life, that the response patterns to life are initiated by emotions, and the emotions are stirred because our image doesn't look good. And our worry is really not worry about what's going to happen. It's worrying about what's going to happen with our image. We're not worried that we're going to go broke. We've all been broke. We're worried about what people think of us if we go broke. We're not worried we're going to get sick. We're worried about people thinking we're gross if we're sick. We're not worried about these things. We're generally just worried about what it looks like. We're not worried to get fired at our job. We've all been fired at our job. We probably hate the job. But what do people think if I get fired? Not worried if you don't pass your driver's test. Who cares? Let's go next week. But it's what do people think of me? Are they going to tease me if I don't pass? Not worried about dropping out of college. We've all done that. Who cares about that? It's about what people think about me for dropping out of college. What do people think about me if I fail? We all can fail. We don't mind failure. It's what do people think about me when I fail? And so one thing that we have to do is we have to keep this measurement system in place so we can have an honest conversation about what is recovery. I mean, if we were sitting in a gym of a group of men and women that were struggling with physical fitness, and then one guy says, well, he's doing great, I just bought a car. That would be an insane thing to say. And that's what people say in the rooms of recovery. They say, I'm doing great, I got my license back. Now imagine if somebody that was 350 pounds was still 350 pounds, but they said, I'm doing great at physical fitness, I got my license back. It's insane. Or they say, I'm doing great at physical fitness, I got my car back, or I'm doing great at physical fitness, I just got my own place. What? That has nothing to do with physical fitness. Getting your own place has nothing to do with physical fitness or mental fitness. Truly. If you get you know how many people we've seen get their own place, but be mentally unfit for it? Like every one of them almost. And especially now with the money flowing and the apartments available and everything, it's dangerous. So we have to force and hold each other accountable for having a recovery program, which means, listen, while you're in this group, while you're traveling along, you will improve your response patterns to life. You must. And we must require it of each other. We must stop with the eye rolling, the criticism, the, teasing people and belittling people and the defensiveness over everything with the defensiveness. It's very difficult for anyone here to tell each other that they didn't clean properly. Yes, everyone's here seems to think they're the cleaner of the world or the ultimate maid. So you tell somebody they didn't clean the bathroom properly or clean the floor properly, then there's a big argument ensues here. It's crazy. Crazy. And other than just going, hey, listen, we're only here for one reason, guys, to improve our response patterns to life. And we find out, like pilots flying in the sky, that when turbulence comes and we handle our response patterns better, we are now a better pilot. And recovery means learning to pilot your life and not crashing, not having somebody else come and save you anymore, flying and remaining in the air, not having somebody come and bail out your plane or put it back up in the air for you, but actually flying a plane big enough that other people then one day can get on and ride the plane that you fly. And you can have a family, and you can have people around, and you can let them get on if they need a place to be. That's how big it can get. So we're here for recovery. And I think it's a big problem in the recovery world that people don't know what recovery is. They just generally don't even know what it is, let alone, I've been in the recovery world for 10 years and I've, boiled down to response patterns to life, calming our energy so we can respond to life, handling our emotions so we can respond to life better. And I didn't hear that for the first 7 or 8 years. And I didn't hear it until I'm saying it. And I think that's a general problem that we have to look at. And so it's a difficult, in this room, we're having a little bit of time getting down to the meat of it and each person acknowledging, there's that their response patterns to life was poor. And instead we begin to talk about how somebody else did what to them. And that's what we're looking to improve here and improve the conversation. And that's what this is all about. And it's okay to have a poor response pattern to life. It doesn't matter. That's not a problem. The problem is not admitting it. The problem is not saying that's the problem. Instead, saying they shouldn't have done that. Why did they do that? How come they did that to me? Why did this happen to me? Everybody always picks on me. I'm the victim. What is that backwards? Oh, Ange?
Oh, pick up all that. Here, I'll mute.
Okay. Well, we're about ready to open it up. So, it was a real tough sit down for me tonight. I was in the middle of one of my markers, didn't really prepare anything, but kind of just, and to come out and just, but it actually just proved true, right? Tuesday, right before Solution Group, that I just had a poor response pattern to life. I didn't handle it the way I wished I would have. There was turbulence and I got a little upset. And it's just very odd that it happens right now, and I have to acknowledge that. But I'm not here saying it was somebody else. All that happened was I wish I would have handled it better. And so you examine, and that's this examination. There's the last part of this that I didn't mention, and that's the film study. That's after the game, going over the film. And as you go over the film, don't look at the referees making poor calls. Don't look at how the other team cheated. Don't look at anything other than how you played. Don't look anywhere else. Don't blame the coach. Don't just look on the field and see how you played and what happened with you. That's the self-examination. So it starts out, this whole thing is just about this examination. Examining how I respond to life. Being better prepared to look at my emotions, name them, so I don't get taken away by them and respond to life poorly. That's what it's about. Flying the plane through turbulence, not crashing. What happens when you hit some turbulence? Do you go get high and just imagine, kind of like a lot of us just get high and jump out of the plane? Doesn't matter who's up there. Doesn't matter if they're going to crash. Doesn't matter. You just get high and get your own parachute and jump out and go get drugs. But look at all the people still left in the plane. They're screwed. They don't get to use drugs. You do. So that's why it's such a selfish thing. You just jump out of your own plane, blame them all, get away, and they get to sit in the plane and crash with no control. This must be what it feels like to be a parent of an addict. You're flying the plane, all of a sudden you just jump out. and then you're stuck there. The whole family's stuck in there talking about what do we do? Waiting on the pilot. The plane's going down. It's brutal. So anyways, we can go ahead, open it up.
All right. All right. So the way that you let us know that you have a question, a comment, anything is by raising your hand. There's a raise your hand feature on your device. And if you can't figure that out, you can unmute yourself, get my attention some other way, and we'll get to you. So how do you handle your response patterns to life? Topic. Really good. Really good. Who's first? Sherry. Awesome. We can always count on Sherry. I love it. Thank you.
So using the play in the game analogy, it's really easy when a play finishes, you finish, reset, move on to the next thing, right? So that's an easy reset. When you're going through these things of life, it's like, how long do you stay on the, man, I just did a shitty thing, or this shitty thing happened to me, and now I need to process it, rethink, and then reset. How long is it individual for everybody to figure out how long to reset?
That's not, the thing is, I didn't do a shitty thing, and a shitty thing didn't happen to me. That's that's the first part to clear up. Because I responded to life poorly is a better thing. And that's all that happened. And nothing ever happened to me. Like I didn't mention that anything happened to me tonight or a shitty thing happened to me tonight. Things happen, turbulence. Somebody takes shots at our image. So, or something that happens that's a detriment to our image. You know, I would say that having a kid that's not doing too well is a real shot to the image of a parent. It's not good. It doesn't feel good. Things like that. Arguments when a kid tells you that you're a bad mom and you've done them wrong, and that hits. And then you go back and say, you're a shitty, irresponsible little brat. That happens. None of it's shitty. None of it, nothing shitty's happening. Nothing, that's not it. It's to sit down and examine which insecurity caused you to, or what type of insecurity, and to admit that it's just your image that's doing it. That you get caught up in your image and you respond poorly by defending your image. So basically, when anyone has a poor response pattern to life, it's basically just one person saying, you're not this, and then the other, and then us as a human going, I am that. Or vice versa. Somebody saying you're that, and then you're saying I'm not that. And then we respond poor to life. So it's and then, then the text ensue and the battles ensue. And then, so you're flying at your baseline, and then somebody says, you're no good at this, or you're not that. And then we get involved in some text war trying to prove that we're that, or trying to prove that we're not that. Or we get involved in a verbal argument and try to prove who we are. And I think that with this practice of finding your baseline and living in it, we get better at flying through the turbulence when we see it. So then after you sit down and you do respond poorly, and that's all that happened is you responded poorly. And then you just say, do I want to respond poorly anymore? No. Okay, why? Why did I respond poorly? Oh, well, let's see. I was tired. It was late. It hit my insecurity. My image was threatened. And then I attacked back to defend my image. Okay. Well, what do I got to work on? Well, I got to live outside my image more. I got to be present in the current moment, not trying to be somebody, but trying to be. And that practice will develop more meditation, more presence. That will be more time outside of your image. But if somebody lives all day inside their image, trying to create a better story about themselves and, talking about their cause and this and that and how good of a parent I am, well, then when something hits, it's going to be very, very, very easy to get them to go crazy. You can say anything to them because they're so wound up in their character's story, and then it's easy. So, I might not mention that what was said to me tonight was, in my opinion, brutal. And so the things but lighter things won't get me because of the practice, but bigger things do. And so you just, that's it. But it's not this bad thing happened. The time that we're limiting is no time in blame. That's what you want to not, that's the only concern. Any time that the mind is sitting there saying, they shouldn't have done that. How come they did that to me? Why did they say that? All wasted time. So that's the real goal, is to just eliminate that time. That time where we're resenting and we're saying, but they do this and they do that. And why do they always do that? It's that time that actually needs to be limited. So the practice will limit that time. It'll get you right back to the place of taking that breath and going, okay, why did I respond poorly? And that's especially important when dealing with a family member. It's especially important. And it's especially difficult. If we're still flipping out with the clerk at the store, then our practice is non-existent. But if you're getting to the point where you're just flipping out with the people that are closest to you, well, that's why, because they're closest to you. It's a lot easier for me to deal with your son than you. It's not personal.
So true.
Yeah.
For all of them, all of us.
Oh. But they have that. But when we're dealing with somebody that's going through something and they have that ability to hit all of our insecurities, and it means something, and we respond poorly. So that's all. To look at the tape simply means that we're going over how we responded and why, and what shot to our image were they giving us. That's all. Once you look that way at it, it has to improve, because to be honest, people just don't look that way at it. The normal person, when they have a poor response pattern to life, they just blame and resent for a day or two, and that's all that happens. And so, not a normal person doesn't sit down after a huge altercation or a minor altercation and sit down and go, I responded poorly. This is like an extraordinary thing to do. And if we can convince you to do it, we'll be doing something. If you could convince a group of people, all when there was an altercation, a whole family in a house, to sit down after every altercation and immediately go to their respective corners and say, how did I respond poorly? Well, the fight would be over. That family would be connected. But that's not what we do. We go to our respective corners and we think about how the other person responded poorly. That's the insanity. Where does that get us? And then we come back to talk. Hey, we should talk. I want to tell you how you responded poorly. And then they go, well, what about you? And I go, well, that's because you did that. If you wouldn't have done that, I would respond great. Well, if you wouldn't have done that, I would respond great. And then he's just in the stalemate. And we wonder why we don't get anywhere with our family. Because there's nobody that's going, hey, why don't we all look at our own response patterns to life? What if a football team just, hey, why didn't we win? Well, you didn't catch it. No, well, you didn't throw it right. Well, you didn't tackle. Oh, shit. Well, let's keep losing. I mean, that would be the only thing to do.
Great. Now I get to apologize for my husband when he comes back in. Thanks.
Yeah. I don't think so. He don't deserve it. Don't do that. I know Guy doesn't deserve an apology. It's okay. He screwed up. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Sherry. Thanks for always interacting so well. We love it. Really appreciate that. All right. Who else? Any questions? Any thoughts about anything? Now's your chance. Do we have any new people on? Kathy White, are you able to turn on your video and say hi? I know you were new last week. This is your second solution group. We haven't gotten to meet you yet. We'd love to meet you.
Oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. Hi.
Hi. Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Thank you. I'm from Los Angeles.
Oh, how'd you hear about us?
I'm Cole's aunt.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Can we get a shot of Cole back there?
Yeah, where's Cole?
Where's Cole?
Sorry, Cole.
Let's put him on spotlight. There we go. Hey, Cole, there's Cole.
Sorry. Hi, Cole.
Cole. Oh, look.
Whoop, whoop.
Travis got his name up and everything. That's great. And that's
awesome.
That's Jeff next to him.
Hi.
Oh, fabulous. That's great, Kathy. So are you Megan's sister?
I am.
Okay.
I'm Megan's older sister. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's great to be here. And, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning so much. And I just want to say thank you. And, tonight, this is great stuff. And it just kind of goes back for me as a parent to last week where, I'm trying to take on that lead. I got to be the leader in my house. I got to get the people to put down the phones. There's just so much. I'm getting so much out of listening. And so I really appreciate it. And I thank you for letting me be involved.
Get me back on here. Yeah. Okay, there.
That's so great.
So
and
thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And let me tell everybody out there, you can always share this link with all of your family. It's not a problem. All you do is just copy and paste the same link that you get a text reminder, and you can invite your family members. They're always invited. This is open to the public. So always feel free to invite the whole family. And it's great to have aunts and grandparents and siblings and all that on. So glad you're here, Kathy.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm glad to see your face. All right. I'm going to bebop through and see if there's any other new names that I don't recognize. I thought I saw one a minute ago and I lost it. I think maybe I scared them, said, oh, they're calling out new people. I'm out. I thought it was a Katie, K-A-D-Y, but I don't see them anymore. All right. Who's next? Who's got some thoughts, comments? Wiggins, K.O. Maddoxes. I see all you guys. Hey, guys. The Stampalias. Angela Bataluco. Hi. Kristen. Hey, hey. What are you guys thinking? Jean. Come on now. Roger. Oh, Roger. Gosh, I'm so glad Janelle left me that voicemail the other night. Janelle, they pocket dialed me at like 4 a.m. And I was really glad that you left a voicemail saying it was an accident. Boy, that made my heart drop. All right. I'll just sit back and wait. Angela, I knew it would come. Can we get you unmuted?
Okay, there it is.
All right, there we go.
I hesitated. I waited for someone else.
Yes. That's what everybody else is doing too.
I know. Art, I fully relate with everything you just talked about and see myself reacting poorly in situations or however you put it. But there's one thing I want to know if you might be able to help me with.
Okay.
That is, and this is probably the only place I will disagree with you just a little bit about. When you fear as a parent of your child not making it.
Yeah.
That fear I feel is not a fear of how it's going to affect my image as much as how it's going to affect my heart.
Yeah.
And you probably are right. Somewhere deep down in there, it's my image or whatever, but.
No. I didn't say that. Listen, fear of losing your kid is a lot different. And to sit with that is a lot different than to be in an argument with your kid and get upset because he tells you you're a bad mom. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm talking about responding poorly because you're in an argument, defending yourself as a parent, and your addict kid is like going at you and hitting your insecurities about who you are as a person. And we lose it on them and get in angry fights and we talk mean to each other and all that kind of thing. I can't imagine the fear of sitting in your house with your kid out there and worrying about losing them. I can't even imagine it. I've had Barkley go missing, my dog, for a couple minutes, and the panic is not of me being a good dog owner or not. It's about whether I get to see Barkley again. And that's not exactly what, so I'm not suggesting that our only fears here are our image. There's a fear of loss, of deep connection being severed. And, really, really the ultimate fear, probably a mother losing a child. So no, by no means am I saying that it's all image or that fear isn't true and that fear isn't deep. I'm saying when we're in interactions with each other and we're saying things and responding poorly. An example is I was just in a verbal altercation with somebody who's not doing too well, and basically I was trying to tell them they're not doing too well, which they already know, and they were trying to tell me that I need to change, and so we're in this weird zone of of me now worrying about who I am as a human being and responding poorly because I'm getting upset and I'm defending myself. And then you just get back after it and you go, what was I just doing?
Right.
What the hell? And you sit down and you go, why do they hit my insecurities so deep? Why is my image so dependent on this person's approval? You know, and then you just go, well, shit, maybe it's because I have to work a little harder on, you know, staying out of the image game.
Right.
And you know, and you look over everything. You look over what you've said and done with the person, and you look over the information that you've given, and you look over all of it. You know, and we have deep fears that they're going to run around and say bad things about us. You know, and that's all. But no, I totally agree that I can't imagine the fear of sitting there and knowing your kid could be not coming back.
Right.
So.
Right. Okay.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can also talk.
Jeff, you're up.
Yeah, in fact, the people love it. Come on, guys. I'd love to hear from them. What you're learning? What'd you learn this week?
They're scared. Brian's scared.
Fear of looking good.
Yeah. Yeah. Kaylee, you want to talk? No. Yeah. Let's get that picture of Travis back up there. Producer Travis, there you go. Kick it over to Travis. Yeah.
They're asking where Kyle is and the comedy.
Oh yeah. Kyle's on the IR. He's on injured reserve. He's
Kyle, lean forward.
he's where let's get Kyle. Put the teeth thing up. Put new mouth. Yeah. Let's get Kyle up there. Oh, it's dark.
We can see. We can see.
What's his title?
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at those pearly whites.
Yeah. So Kyle's working on his image. So, yeah.
It starts when I talk more than 2 sentences or so, the teeth start flapping.
Yeah.
So I gotta wait till they're not so flapping around. You know.
Still sore.
Yeah, I can do one joke.
Oh, he wants one joke.
Oh, one joke. Okay.
Okay.
Wait, are we on Spotlight? Yes.
So we might be having this new guy come in, he's an addict, but he's addicted to brake fluid. Thing is he says he can stop. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's Cam and Matt.
Yeah.
Look how good Matt's looking.
Yeah.
Dang.
A lot better this week.
Yes.
You know, we do have a house divided here. There's I've been on both sides. So when this first started with the eating right thing, I was on the side that teased the people that were eating right. I like to criticize them and belittle them, and I like to open my soda and flaunt it in front of them. And I would like to come out late at night, cook me a burrito, grab some Oreos, glass of milk, and I was just living the life. And,
Lost 5 pounds.
Yeah. and now, and I saw it. It was our side, the carb eaters and the sugar eaters against the no carb and no sugar eaters. And then I defected and I went over to the no carb, no sugar side. There's a reason. So our team, the no carb, no sugar side, we're all up at 6 a.m. And the reason we're up at 6 a.m. is because we're starving.
Yes.
and it isn't. And I was always wondering why they were all up at 6 a.m. and the rest of the house couldn't get up. But now I know it's because we're starving and
We get up at 6 because we have to eat, and we haven't had anything. We haven't had anything since dinner last night. There's been no snacks. There's nothing, and it's brutal. So we have in the morning, we have the meat station,
Yes.
and the egg station, and it's meat and eggs, and it's always going at 6. Yeah, Travis runs the meat station, and Liz runs the egg station, and it's always ready at 6:30 because if not, we can't make it one more minute. So then what we do is us good no carb, no sugar eaters, we like to sit around the table and talk shit about the carb eaters.
Oh no, we just lost them. Something totally happened. They're gonna have to tune back in. So are you guys still with me? Move. Yeah, it wasn't just me. So they'll tune back in a moment, but oh my gosh, let me tell you, Art is seriously doing it this time, guys. He is serious this time. I mean, I really believe, I mean, there's been some starts and stops and, you know, all that for how many years now, but I really believe this time, I believe he's doing it. It's awesome. And these kids in the house, they're keeping him accountable. And most of them like to eat the healthy way anyways. And so they're keeping him accountable. And it's like he's created this group around him, this recovery program that was for his own recovery, for the food issues. It's absolutely beautiful. So guys, while I have you by myself, ask me any question that you maybe didn't want to ask when they were here. Bring it.
Oh, we're back.
There they are. No, you missed your chance. Oh man. Don't tell them what I told you. It's our little secret.
Let's go. What's going on with everyone tonight? Coming on here being looky-loos.
I know. They're being so quiet tonight.
You know?
They're being shy tonight.
I see somebody waving.
Oh, good. Let me find them. I know there's people out there that want to talk and they just get nervous. Who's waving? Oh, Becky, go ahead. Let's get you unmuted. Wiggins. Was that who you saw waving?
No.
There was somebody else. Okay, I'll after the Wiggins, I'll look for who else that was. Who was it?
Jackie,
Maybe.
am I unmuted?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I actually had dinner with our son today, and it was really nice. I was just telling Bill, and you know, I mean, just going back, you know, everything Art says about, you know, how you're reacting to life, and you know, before we met you guys, I mean, seriously, that's all I was doing. That's all we were doing, reacting to each other, you know, reacting to Brett, you know, being in a panic, you know, making decisions out of fear. And like, seriously, we could not have sat, like without you guys, I couldn't have sat and had a nice dinner with my son tonight, you know, like by myself. And people out there that, you know, maybe haven't gotten connected yet, you know, I would really say, you know, like do some coaching with Angie or do some coaching with Art. You know, do the practice that Art's talking about, because it does take practice. And like, I'm sitting there tonight having dinner with Brett and just thinking about, you know, how I'm reacting to him and like what a difference that makes. I mean, I dropped him off and he actually like kissed the top of my head. I have not done that since he was like just a little kid, you know? So I think I did a pretty good job tonight. So, but it's because I've listened to what you guys have said and really tried to practice it. You know, definitely, you know, not perfect, but for anybody out there that's new to Battlefield, you know, we've been involved now, what, like 3, almost 4, going on 4 years, I think. And, you know, it does take a lot of time and effort. But I think it really does pay off. It's really paid off. And I want to say thank you guys.
You look amazing, Becky. You really do.
I do?
Yes, you look beautiful.
Out the glasses.
Yeah. Well, both.
Oh.
Yeah. Do I need to send over these guys and take that Christmas tree down for you?
Nope, it's staying up.
Oh, okay.
It's got Valentine decorations on it now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we do have the new rebuild work crew. They could always come over for a small fee and remove that tree.
When I'm ready. When I'm ready.
Okay. All right.
Tell a little bit more about that, Art. Tell them about the work crew in case anybody missed it last week.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just we've been in this. We've been here now, and we started this in September 11th was the day we arrived at this house, and then in our last relapse was our last case of drug use was I think October 6th was the last time somebody's used drugs and alcohol or brought drugs and alcohol here, which is incredible. We've never had a run this consistent with people doing this well, without a failed UA, without any marijuana use, without anything. And we're really seeing a difference and seeing that people are getting ready to move on and do things. But they also want to stay close to the program and connected. So we've kind of developed a way, Travis.
Art.
Yeah.
They cannot see that.
Okay, but it messes me up.
But you can't just talk to the camera.
No.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to just talk to the camera. Yeah. So we've been sending people out, and we had a family reach out to us this week, and Travis and Cam are actually going to do their first project this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And this person is a long ways away, so they've offered a hotel room and everything. So Travis and Cam are going on their first out-of-town job, and we're looking for more. And we're not perfect, but we're learning, and we will never leave until the job's done right. So that's what we offer, and it's whatever job. And they're great at painting already. They're great at any type of cleanup or any type of yard stuff. They're great at, but we're learning other things. We're doing a bathroom right now, and we're getting taught how to do a bathroom, and we're learning a lot.
They're working on my house while I'm here in Florida.
Yeah. So, well, yeah.
I can't wait to see the new paint. I know they're good painters.
I've become a tile expert. Hey, you're gonna do a bathroom. You're gonna want a 4x8 tile in the shower. You're gonna want 12x24 on the floor. That's the newest stuff. So I learned that today. I went to a place called Floor and Decor today, and spent most of my day down there. If you ever told me I was going to be happy to go to a place called Floor and Decor, so I spent my time there. A lot of time at Lowe's, and yeah. But I love tile now. I'm good at color schemes. Match color schemes. You know what I mean? I'm even getting down to the top towel bars and the faucets. You know? You guys know this word? Brush nickel.
What?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I know what brush nickel. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I heard that word today. Yeah. You know? Yeah, you can do black, you can do chrome, you can do brush nickel. I was like, brush nickel. Sounds like what I want. Yeah. So yeah. Grout. You know, there's all colors of grout. I looked at a grout, like a rainbow of grout, and they had all the colors up there. And then the girl goes, "You could actually get white. They have real white." And I was like, okay. You know, all the colors have weird names. Travis, what's some of those paint names?
Red.
Travis, you got to go to yourself. When you kick it to you, you got to come on, man.
All right, who's producing this show?
Oh, I am.
Okay. There's red in. Angie, what was the other one?
Redden's Earth is the blue room.
If you guys have ever, probably not, but if you guys have ever been to a dispensary or a weed store, they don't just sell. It's not just called weed. It's like Turkey Goliath. The paint industry has adopted this. Don't believe me? Just go to the paint section at Lowe's and take a few of those cards, and they have some crazy names. Iron ore. Yeah. Iron ore is one of them. Rusted. and then pretty much any word after rusted
Yeah.
is a paint.
Yes. Yes.
You know what my
Travis likes paint names. He's all about the names.
Yes. Isn't he wearing a Sherwin-Williams shirt?
Yes, Sherwin-Williams.
Okay.
That's my favorite brand of paint.
It's no good, Ange. It's no good.
What?
It's no
Yeah,
good.
Angie, you actually have some bad news.
Yeah.
I'll text you later.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me that. That was expensive.
All right, let's go to a family member.
We ain't
that-
changing it. Yeah, we got another job coming through. So already a text with someone needing a job. Very
Okay,
good.
family member that's struggling with recovery, maybe.
Yeah, we've got 20 minutes left. So
Yeah.
if there's anybody out there struggling and needs a coaching moment, this is your
I'm telling
opportunity.
you though, we are getting good at weight loss around here. We're getting good at construction. You know, it's fun. We're getting good at organizing group rooms and hookahs.
We've got quite the team. That's for sure.
I'm gonna turn this back over to Art for some recovery stuff.
Yeah.
You guys-
Yeah. I'm going to scroll through and see. So we've got 20 minutes. So if you're struggling with something, this is your opportunity for coaching.
I mean,
This is
somebody
your
here has
opportunity.
had to have a hard week. I mean, what are they doing?
Yeah. Let's see. Who do we got? Come on, guys. Jackie Tomlinson, are you home yet? Are you back home?
No, I'm still in a hotel.
Oh, okay. When do you
Oh.
fly home?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay. You've had a week.
So
You're feeling some relief now.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that let's see, how did Art put it? I wasn't the cause of hitting his insecurities.
Me?
I wasn't, or the two people I brought aren't hitting your insecurities.
Oh, no, they haven't got out of their room yet. They're sleeping.
Okay.
We like to keep them
All right.
dormant. We like to keep them dormant for the first 5 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They did eat though. We brought them a plate of food. They ate it, put the plate back under the door.
Okay.
That's normal
Well-
those first few days.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell you, one time my son made some bacon. He likes bacon, and left the frying pan on the stove, and I put it in his bed. So I learned how to clean up his dish then. So
We might have to try that tactic here with
Well,
some
we're
of them.
definitely gonna talk about
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Jackie. All right. Who's going through it out there?
Oh, one other thing, by the way, that KADY, that's
Yeah.
my daughter. That
Oh,
was my
okay.
daughter.
Oh,
Yeah, she
okay.
had to leave because she has a baby, you know. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Gotcha. Nobody's going through it.
We solved all the problems.
We did.
Yeah.
So can I ask, how's the meditation going? We had the meditation speaker a couple weeks ago. At the house, are you all still meditating and working on that?
We do it spotty during group, and then everybody there's people that do it by themselves, and everyone kind of has their own practice in their room. But when I say meditation, I mean just in any form of intentional presence. I mean any form of I'm actually trying to be more present. I'm stating that, and I'm working on that. I'm knowing it right now. This is the goal in my life, or this is the goal in this moment, is to practice presence. And so it's this total, just a practice of intentional presence. And that's it. It doesn't have to be, for me, it doesn't have to be eyes closed, cross-legged, hands in the air. It can just be, it can be doing the floor, cleaning the floor. It can be cleaning the counters. It can be anything where the intention is to connect with the moment. That's all. And that's what we call it, like a living meditation, you know? It's exactly what I described to these guys today, like mental health, you know, like I imagine we have a neighbor, Milo,
and we all know him because he's our neighbor here now. He's been my neighbor since I was 0. He's always lived next door. And this is my childhood home. So Milo lives next door. He's about 95, I think is his age. 97? He's 97. He mows his own lawn with an electric lawnmower. He plugs it in and mows the lawn. He brings big rocks from the backyard out to the front yard and cracks them into nice even pieces. So he has good gravel in his front yard. He climbs up on his roof and he cleans the moss. He drives a Cadillac that probably has about 20,000 miles over it over 40 years or whatever he's had it for. And he trims his own trees. And you know, I told the kids here today, I go, I imagine he doesn't wake up to an alarm clock beeping off and then like just blaring and he sleeps through it. I think the difference from Milo is he lives in meditation. And I call that mental health. I call the ability to mow a lawn and not have your headphones booming mental health. The ability to ride in a car without the radio blasting, mental health. The ability to just crack a rock or do whatever he's doing, cut your trees and finish the task, mental health. The ability to rake the yard fully and be done and then clean it all up so there's not a leaf on it and then put it in the trash. The ability to take your trash cans out the night before the garbage man comes consistently for 40 years, rather than running out with your pajamas the next day while the garbage man's coming. Mental health. These are all the things that indicate mental health for me. Mental health is a guy in a Ford pickup. He's 80 years old and he's just driving and he knows where he's going and he doesn't have GPS. That's mentally health. That's mental health. And so living meditation is what my dad thought that I needed and what my problem was. And I think that's what it is. The ability to be where we're at and do what we're doing without 14 other stimulants. Just that one, you know? And so I know an actual meditation practice improves this, but the living meditation is what really for us is, or what it has to be, to learn to be where you're at and be, you know, and then that living meditation actually makes us respond to life better because we're calmer, which is the whole key to responding to life better, isn't it? I mean, if we just always remain calm, don't we respond better? Mm-hmm. And so the slowing down of the mind, the doing one thing at a time, the lessening of the phone time and the lessening of the stimulants. I've been with these kids for 5 months now, and I truly believe that their biggest issue and the biggest issue they're going to have to overcome is the videos on their phones. And whatever it is that they are obsessing about on their phone. And they're going to have to overcome it because it is taking up an enormous amount of time. And I don't know how you can create for the next day and actually live a day and create that day and do it with the staring at the videos. And the videos are ridiculous. I mean, you know, they're just passing around cat videos and, you know, weird videos and the videos. To me, it's the biggest thing they're going to have to overcome to be a success, because it's standing in the way of their success. It's a true obsession. And so that's what I'm seeing as the biggest thing, that there is no life happening on there. You know, it's fine to admit that you go on there. It's fine to go on there, but please admit to me that there is no life happening and you will not be a success through there. Unless maybe you plan on being a Snapchat sensation, you know, and an Instagram star or a TikTok star, then I would say do it. But other than that, it's the number one thing that I think we're going to have to overcome. And it's the number one thing I think families are going to have to overcome too. You know, truly just looking in a room and seeing everybody on their phone, it's ridiculous. It really looks ridiculous. It is. I'm not saying I'm not part of it. I'm not saying I don't do it too, but it is absolutely ridiculous. And it has to be a group effort to go, wow, we got to at least like line out 4 hours of our day where we don't do that. You know, it's huge. So that's bigger than that. And the vaping thing's crazy. I'll give you
Agreed.
I'll give you my thing on vaping. It's the lazy man smoking. You know, I mean, the guys that used to smoke used to be the guys that got shit done. They did. If you wanted your engine took out, put back in, those guys were going to be smoking while they did it. They were going to stop and smoke a cigarette every hour, but your engine was going to get fixed. If you were at Boeing and you went outside to the smoker square, to the guys smoking on their break, those dudes got shit done. I promise you, they were the dudes that got shit done. Now they can just vape and sit still. They don't even have to take a break. They don't have to go anywhere. They just suck on that thing. It's like a pacifier. And so I'm really concerned with the vaping because it doesn't even make you go outside, you know, and at least smoking was a ritual. You could go outside, you could talk for a second. You did it after you cleaned the kitchen, or you did it before, you did it after a meal, or you did it before. You know, there was a smoke break at work. But now it's just like constant. So it's really, and I don't think the studies are in yet. You know, I just can't imagine a world where putting smoke in your lungs consistently all day could possibly be good. I mean, it's 100%. Yeah. I mean, at least you smoke like 7 cigarettes a day. That's it. But this vaping is all day. It can't be good. I've seen the film it puts on my window shield in my car. I mean, I can't imagine the coating it's putting over the lungs. You know, it's dangerous. Yeah. So, yeah.
Troy would like to tell everyone he has 8 months clean and sober.
Okay. All right, Troy.
Awesome, Troy. Congrats.
Troy's welcome to stop by anytime.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We got a hand up?
Yes. Carrie Naninga, is that how you pronounce it? I've never asked, so you'll have to tell us. Kyle's mama. Naninga.
My husband says it's Naninga. Yeah.
Naninga.
So I honestly have to say I had a tough week. And it had to do with Kyle's surgery.
Yeah.
And because it was really difficult the last time, he had a different surgery, oral surgery when he was in Whatcom County. And him using was a really hard thing. And sorry, Kyle, get a little emotional. When you talked about also, Art, when you talked about how your child could actually push your buttons. Yeah. Because there's no doubt that he was pushing my buttons at that time because he wanted money, he wanted to use. Vaping is interesting, smoking because you're not supposed to smoke or vape. So my meditation was the prayer that I was doing for Kyle because I knew he hurt and I knew he needed to get through it, but I'm so grateful that he is through with Battlefield because he got through it. And this is a tough thing. But it was a difficult week because I prayed a lot. And sometimes I got that little bit of anxiety and I had to calm myself, breathe through it, go somewhere else instead of thinking about how Kyle used to handle it versus what Kyle's handling now. So, good thing it's through, it's done. So I know that, so that's where I was.
Me, Travis, and Jeff are all here. We probably need to talk to you about Kyle for a little while. I mean, you know, you really handed us a real problem here with this guy. You know, I mean, yeah, I mean, this guy, you know, and we've done the best with what we had to work with, but no, he's Kyle. We're not gonna let Kyle screw up again. Yeah. He's accountable to all of us. He stays accountable to all of us, and that's a big deal. And you know, he's accountable to a lot of people. When I said that there hasn't been a relapse in this house, there's only been one relapse in Emily's house. And that's like, we're talking about like another 10 or 11 drug addicts. Yeah. And we're talking about only one relapse for those people too. So we're talking about 2 households of people that have been at this program, been around each other. And we're talking, you know, 20, 21 recovering addicts without a relapse, and only one actually, and it was recent. And so no, the accountability here is pretty thick. In fact, they won't even let me grab a soda or do anything, or I'd get snitched out. So I'm actually using our program myself. And it's the first time I've ever been able to sustain a diet or sustain eating right and doing it properly. And I've never been able to do that. And that's because of this group, because I'm accountable to them, because I don't want to disappoint these guys. And if I was in this house alone by myself, I mean, if there was any sugar anywhere to be found, it'd be just a ticking time bomb until I would eat it. So I'm actually using the program too. So no, Kyle's in good hands. He did great, you know, and now we're just gonna, oh, he wants to say something too. Yes. Kyle, get him on.
Love you, Mom. Thanks for telling everybody that you call me Kai Kai.
Yes.
Ruined my job. It was on, but I mean, I am thankful to have, you know, to have you react. I mean, the way you react. I mean, to know my patterns and what I go through is just, it's a huge help to me in my recovery. You know, to know what I do and you know how I lie and how I manipulate, the way I work things out in order to make it so I can find a way so I can get high again. And for you to know those things is important to me. And so I don't like the fact, it sucks that you get stressed out, you know, especially after 2 years clean that you still get stressed out. But at the same time, I'm thankful for it. I mean, the fear, or it should be a fear there at some level, that, you know, addiction, it's a monster, and it continues to happen. And the moment that I stop working my recovery program is the moment that I'm going to be getting high. So be scared. Last thing is I'm going to keep. I'm not doing diet. I'm on that half. I'm doing sugar instead of doing carbs. And once these guys can chew on things, it's going to start.
So you're on the side of the carb sugar team.
Carb sugar.
Okay.
I mean,
All
the
right.
only reason why I'm not right now is because I just can't chew anything.
The enemy has shown himself. Okay. It's all right.
Once he's healed and his teeth are healed, he's got to make up for lost time and eat anything he wants to.
I
He
know.
hasn't been able to eat for a long time anything he wanted.
Oh, I don't know about that. This guy hits the Dick's drive-in more than any human being.
Maybe because that gets soft and mushy.
The only person that goes to Dick's more than Kyle is his twin brother Kent. So, yeah, they know their names. I went with them one time, and the lady behind the counter goes, "Oh, hey, it's the twins."
Yep.
Yeah. She just had their order in a bag ready for them. It wasn't even, yeah. And he also, Kyle's a connoisseur of Taco Bell food. He also enjoys the Taco Bell and the Jack in the Box. So basically what I'm saying is when he's my age, he's going to be 320 pounds. So, yeah. No final questions?
No, but it's actually time to wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it was an odd mood tonight. Little slow, little less energy. You know,
Maybe it was that weird start with the music, maybe.
So you're saying it was Travis?
Just a little thing to smooth out next week.
Yeah. Well, I think it was I think COVID's weird. I think this mood and this inability to get out, this inability to do anything. Geez, I was at the floor and decor place today, and there was this young girl, and she was helping me with the tile, and we were traveling around the whole place and looking at all this kind of tile, and she said she had just moved out here from Kansas like 7 months ago, and her sister moved out right around the same time or whatever to be a teacher. Her sister's husband is a Green Beret. I don't know what that means. Is that Marines?
Special Forces Army. Yeah,
Or Special Forces Army. So he's stationed out here in the Army, and his sister came out, and then she came out to follow her sister, and she hasn't been out yet. So she moved out here and she hasn't been anywhere yet. She hasn't been to Seattle. She hasn't been anywhere but work and home. It'd be really odd to move somewhere and not even know where you moved. And I go, have you ever went to the casino or anything? No, she hasn't went anywhere. And so just think about for her, when COVID's over, she gets to go explore a whole new state, you know. But for us, this mood of COVID is tough. And I mentioned at the beginning that you have to work these three aspects of your life, or, you know, at least see that there might be more. I'm not saying that there isn't. I'm saying that it is for me always been this struggle to get all three balls in the air at the same time, and to juggle dealing with practical money issues and career issues, to deal with mental health and physical fitness, and to deal with it all at the same time is monumental. And it takes, you know, I don't even know how I was able to end up doing it. It'd take me being here and having the time to do it. So I say you got to see it, and then you got to measure it. You got to know, you know, if we're sitting here and we're talking about how to be successful, well, you're going to have to work all three. And for me, I could never work physical health, and I'm finally getting it, because the physical health has something to do also with your spirituality. It has something to do with your mental health, and it has something to do with your success and your money too, because I used to sleep more. I have to sleep a lot more than other people, and that's just a problem, because and so I'm starting to see, and it's improvement after whatever period of time, a little bit. And I hope that I can continue it. And I hope that I can keep all three aspects of this thing going. And I want to remind us what we talked about tonight. So if we can say, well, if we can improve these response patterns to life, and we can look at what we learned last week and look at how love needs to develop and the conditions that it needs to grow under, like an incubator, it needs to have all these conditions and all the right time and all the right temperature, and everything needs to be there. Well, then your program of getting rid of your insecurities by looking at them, by feeling these markers, having the marker hit, and then examine why you flipped out, examine why you got emotional, examine why you closed your heart. Why did you close your heart? Why did you shut down? And how long did you stay shut down for? Was it an hour? Was it 2 hours? Did you give your partner the silent treatment for 2 days? Did you quit talking to your friend for a month? How long did you shut down for once this marker happened? Did you quit talking to your boss, your coworker? What did you do when this event happened? Or did you use this as a time to go and sit and say, I responded poorly, and here's how I need to improve? And which one are you doing? And that's the measurement. If we can keep that on that, and the measurement of physical health on the scale, and keep these things kind of compartmentalized so we know what we're doing here. And for me, you can combine them later. You can see they're all going to combine in one. Your money and your career and everything's going to give you more confidence, and that's going to help with your spiritual life and your mental health. And then, well, I mean, it's tough to be mentally healthy when you can't pay the cable bill. So you have to incorporate that, and you have to get all three of them going. Tough to be mentally healthy when your landlord's pounding on your door and you can't pay rent. And so it has to be all three. And for me, I've only ever gotten two, and I did pretty well with two. But I realized I hit bottom with my physical health. And so which one are you hitting bottom with? Which one have you dropped? Which one are you not managing? Is it your mental health, your physical health, or is it your career and your money? Which one? You know, or not, maybe not your money, but just your safety, just your being able to have something in savings, to have something so that you're not worrying about the cable bill. And so which of these aspects do you need to touch every day, and how do you touch them every day? You can start out with one, maybe start out with your physical health, and then move to your mental, and then go do what you want to do for your dough and your career, and then come back and work on both of them again at night. And that's really what's going to allow for your life to open up and be able to get to a place where you feel good enough to love, and you feel good enough to have an open heart, and you don't have to shut down anymore. So I think it's important that we key on this metric, and we say, well, On the mental health side, it's how much time can I live in acceptance and fly this plane at my baseline and stay out of turbulence, or when I do hit turbulence, actually fly through it and actually be responsible for it. And so that's hopefully what we can work on. Hopefully what, everybody feels responsible to work on, not just you guys here, but everybody on the TV. If you're tuning in, I suggest that everybody is able to come back and talk about their response patterns to life as we go through. And this can always come up. Say, hey, I had a poor response pattern. Am I investigating it properly? Did I look at it right? What am I doing? But most people, I'm going to tell you, this is difficult for most people because they're not going to be able to stay out of, they shouldn't have done that, or how come they're doing that? And staying out of blame's tough. So we'll take a look at it. But, I hope you guys enjoyed our little show. We're going to get better. Travis is going to get better. I'm sorry he failed us tonight, but
I have a song I'd like to play. You
okay, he has a song to close us out with.
The Green Berets.
Okay.
My dad has this song on a vinyl record. So.
Okay.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Stay and listen to the song. You can unmute and say bye as you go. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Oh, good night.
Oops, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Talk to you about 2 o'clock.
Night. I'm actually sorry. I'm muting everybody so we can hear the song. Sorry, guys. That messed up hearing his song. Sorry, Travis. Oh, darn it. I'm trying to unmute you, Travis.
America's best 100 men will test today.
Oh, it's fine. Go ahead and unmute yourself now. Good night, guys.
Good night, Angie.
Good night. Good night. Thank you. Good night.
Art looks great.
Yes.
2 o'clock.
Bye, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. See you next week. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night, Troy. Good night.
100 men.
Good night, guys.
Today.
Well, like, we're not gonna.